This is the Doctor of Self-Worth. My name is Andrew, and I'm here with you again, Andrew Honigstad. How are you?
I'm great. It's great to be here as always.
Well, we will have a conversation, right? You will have a few questions to me about probably symptoms of self-worth problems or challenges around business owners. Do you want to uh, ask?
Yeah. Well, so I found that, we've talked about this. A lot of self-worth is, a lot of marketing is having that self-worth, right? Are you really going to be the right person for the job? Should you really keep expanding, right? So do you see any like typical triggers that hold people back from really growing and expanding to who they can be?
Absolutely. I come across a few quite frequently, and one of them is this impostor syndrome. And I
Mm,
did resolve quite a few. There's a lot of testimonial small videos where someone is not feeling good enough, or they're not feeling, let's say, prepared or qualified enough to bring value to the table and resolve the client's problems. And I think you mentioned before that some have doubts about, has someone got a better program than mine? Well,
yeah.
imagine you listening to that voice in your head. And unfortunately, at that point, your client has exactly the same question in their head.
Right.
So you probably lost him if you are not. And I'm not saying you got to be the best on the market. I'm not saying that, because you just want to differentiate probably your offer, which is maybe a good value, or you guarantee results, or it just works and you know it will create results, or you do a little more work so they get what they need, or personal attention, whatever it is. Another one, for example, I see is behind this doubt, there is fear of failure, and at times there's fear of success.
Mm,
When people are seeing success or money or abundance as unsafe, actually their subconscious mind sees it as a problem, and then self-sabotage kicks in. And your mind, and especially the subconscious, is 100 times more strong than what
yeah.
you do consciously. And this is where I shared this before, is where where someone's conscious goals are not achieved because the subconscious agenda is stifling progress. It's sabotaging every attempt to get there. Um, probably probably the feelings of I don't deserve this, or unworthy,
Mm,
is another one, or the I haven't got enough. Like, that's a massive one. Probably 70% of the population haven't got enough money to invest, or I don't see it as, I'm not up to spending that much because I don't
right.
believe there's value behind it, or I haven't got time,
Mhm,
or I haven't got enough connections, or my reputation is not widespread enough. And
right.
and these could take you out of the game. What have you found, Andrew, if you want to share one or two?
I mean, I found when you were talking about a fear of success, I think that even just for myself, especially early on, I mean, at this point, I know the blocks and I know them when I hear it pop into my head. But especially early on, I had this, this fear of success. It's like you're comfortable being just so. Right. And how do you, so maybe I guess my question is like, how do you help people? Because I know for myself, I find these blocks and I recognize it, right? I'm like, oh, that is a thought that doesn't serve me. Right. And I'm able to move it to the side and keep going. But how do you help people really when those blocks pop up? Because those are the blocks that are keeping them from investing and growing uh, further.
Thanks for that question, and that was a really good point that you brought up, and this is the getting by, playing safe, playing small mode.
Right.
The exact strategy to get stuck, and that mindset will keep you where you are for years or decades. Well,
Yeah.
the way to shift this is always think of, like, you got in the room, the way to get visibility, that's Andrew. But you will need to execute certain things. And I believe that's when mindset comes in. And I have to say, probably it's a 70% of you getting where you want to.
Right.
But how does that happen? I think as far as mindset, you need to be always front of your game from the mindset point of view, or from self-image. Like, you need to be able to see, imagine yourself as someone who has already got there, because
Yeah.
then you'll be able to receive. Then you will have this giving and receiving in balance. It's not like you have this, I call this, it's almost like a financial thermostat. And if you're moving within the band, the aircon works between 24 to 27 degrees, or whatever
Yeah.
Fahrenheit you would use, then that's your comfort zone, and you're not going to get outside of that probably the results that you're looking for. And we can shift that pattern, or let's say limitation, that you have taken on, I have to say, from before. Somehow that limitation has been serving you. It may just got you feeling safe, maybe it got you to be recognized, even significant sometimes, that you're struggling like everyone else. That could be a pattern. Or at times, it just gives you, a variety. It's just another way of getting by. There are so many, I would say, unconscious motives that keep you in that same place. But my job as such is to find its root. And it wouldn't take me more than probably a free conversation, 45 minutes, and then make a plan to shift it. Because it's never difficult. It's almost like that your business has been trying to teach you. It's been giving you the lessons, yet it's somehow you haven't had the eyes or the right lens to see and learn from those lessons. And then you could end up, doing the same primary year for 5-10 years. And I've seen so many business owners who've been struggling, repeating and repeating and repeating setbacks and failures, and they didn't understand it because it's outside their consciousness what has been keeping them not achieving what they want. Have I been able to answer you?
Yeah, I mean, I just really heard that this is what I heard, and so correct me if I'm wrong, but I really heard that, what you do is you help people uncover that root unconscious pattern that keeps them stuck in that, right? Because that once you find that root, we can create a plan so that we can move forward and out of that consistent pattern. And once you're outside of that comfort zone and you start operating from there, you can actually find a new comfort zone that fits more of what you want to be up to versus what you happen to do. Yeah.
Absolutely. You probably will create mentally another comfort zone where you double your income or double your business. Well,
Right.
if you want to grow more, it might take more mindset work, but it's about shifting that programming, that standard that you have now. And at times it's emotional work as well, because usually lack of results are attached to feelings of, well, sometimes fear, as you heard, sometimes guilt. Guilty receiving is a big one, or feelings of frustration. Well,
Sure.
imagine, that could get you grounded and not being able to grow, and you don't even know what's wrong. And that's why I can't keep stressing enough that, like, probably the biggest cost in business is when you are trying to save money on mindset.
Yeah.
And getting the right strategy to increase your business. So, well,
Absolutely.
that could cost your business, cost your other areas of life, your relationships, because a business that is not delivering results is slowly messing with your life, every area of life. So I think I've been able to help you, and probably I need to get going. But thanks very much, Andrew. It was a lovely conversation.
Absolutely. Thanks for answering my questions. I appreciate it.
Thanks.